One More Day is one of those stories where I can see why everyone hates it. I don't know if I hate it as much as everybody else. I don't particularly like how Peter is portrayed. I don't agree with Kusada and many other people about Peter needing to be single. But there's something about the idea of like, what will you do to try and bring someone you care about back or to save somebody? And I think most of us can probably put ourselves in that situation. And I think that's kind of why I appreciate the story in a way. Because I like to put myself in the shoes of Peter and like, okay, if I had what Peter has at his disposal, if I had a dude who could buy out the hospital that, the person I'm worried about is staying in, if I have someone who could traverse different realms of reality and use magic like it was nothing, and if I had all these different avenues at my disposal, would I just sit back and let the person I care about just slip away, or would I try and do something about it? And I don't know if I would go about this way, but it gives me enough like pause to reflect on kind of my own opinions on what I would do.
Yeah, like I have a loved one who is we don't know when we know the time is running out, but we don't know when it will literally run out.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I got, like, this isn't one of the like type of thing where, like, my grandfather, when he passed, he was in hospice for a few days, and basically I loved one. I just want the whole thing to be over, so I no longer have to think of the situation.
Yeah, between the first part of this episode we recorded and us recording now, I think both of us have kind of been put into this very situation. My grandpa 3 weeks ago was put in a hospice, and we were able to make it down to see him one last time, and he ended up passing away the day after we left down there. And I hadn't seen him in 7 years, just because, you grow up and life gets in the way, and he's not, my grandparents live 5 hours away, so it's not one of those things where I'm just like, hey, let's get up and go see my grandparents today or whatever. Like you mentioned, your grandma's in the same situation right now, and
yeah, honestly, my grandfather passed away about 6 years ago, and she started getting like the way she is, at least medically, ever since then. Like, slowly, day by day, she's drifting away. And as I mentioned to Josh before we started recording, I haven't made any videos for the channel. I typed up my part of one of the roundtables, and I still need to do some more writing. But I basically, for about 2 weeks, I've just been trying to find a way to move forward and move on. And last time I saw my grandparents, back when they were still them, was maybe 10 to 13 years ago. And I just want to get over it.
Yeah. And that's part of what sucks so much, is that, like, you want to remember, like, the good times. When they're in the condition that they can get into, you don't want to see them, because that's not how you want to remember them. And you kind of put yourself in a predicament, because you want to be there for them. You want to let them know that it's going to be okay, that you love them. Kind of what Doctor Strange tells Spider-Man, that like maybe they don't appear to be there for you, but there's a good chance that they are. Just let them know that's okay. Let them know that you love them. Let their final moments be with people that you love. And on the flip side, as the people that they love, you're seeing a part of them that you wish you'd never have to see. And that's part of the image that's going to be burned in your brain, for the rest of your life. And it sucks. It sucks that you have to remember the bad with the good.
Yeah, like my other grandfather, my father's father, who I share a name with.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2005 in Blakely, Georgia, and as you mentioned, like stuff burned into your brain. The last thing I remember was seeing him with a tube in his mouth, keeping him going, and I don't think I'll ever be able to unsee that or get it out of my memory. Maybe if I somehow lose my memories,
which could be a whole nother problem of itself. But I mean, yeah, I have a very similar memory with my grandma back when I was in high school, when her cancer and cystic fibrosis kind of got the best of her. Seeing her bedridden, unable to move. My dad, when he passed away in 2014, I basically was there when he took his last breaths. It's life. It sucks, and I hate that all of us have to experience it at one time or another. But all we can do is support each other when that happens, and love each other, and love the people who have been a part of our lives, and be there for them. And it's like it's that kind of stuff that makes me want to appreciate one more day, because it makes me think of like all of this, like think of the people that I've lost, and that fleeting moment in my head where I'm like, would I give up everything to save them? It sucks, Allan. It sucks. So let's just move on at this point.
Enough moping. Let's move on.